Hello viewers, welcome back. This is Charles. We are working in QuickBooks 2016 and we are talking about customizing the QuickBooks environment here in module 3. We are down to video number 3 where I want to show you how to work with users in QuickBooks. Right now, if you open your QuickBooks file, it would just open right up to QuickBooks and you could start working in your company file. But if you have the users setup, or if you have the user setup, the first screen you would see would be a login screen, just like what we are seeing right now. During the easy step interview, I set up my user passwords and usernames. That's why when you just open QuickBooks, it just shows you that screen where you're supposed to log in with your administrator password, if at all you are the administrator. So you have the ability to create up to 5 users in QuickBooks. This version that we are using have the ability to create over up to 5 users in QuickBooks. And if you want, if you want maybe to have more additional users, then you could just purchase a new QuickBooks package that will be able to accompany those other additional users. So let's log in and we flip over to QuickBooks and I show you how to go in and set up those users in QuickBooks. So I'll put in my password. This is the very password I created at the beginning. So you need to be remembering that password, and it is here down here. It says passwords. Passwords are case sensitive. It means if you put a wrong thing, then you won't be able to log into your company file. So my password is now set. You can see I'm in. The group is KC Group QuickBooks 2016. That's the group we created. Or that's the company name that we used. So as it has finished loading all the information that we need. So it has finished. After you put in the password, of course, it will allow you access your company file. But there are a couple of different reasons as to why you would want to set up the users or different users in QuickBooks. One of the reasons is you have the ability to limit the user's access to certain areas of your company file. Let's say that you have hired someone to just come in and they work with let's say your accounts payables, meaning they are going to be handling only this section of the vendors. That means that everything that is going to do with vendors, like paying bills, entering bills, and all that, is going to be assigned to someone else. In other words, maybe you have hired an accountant to just work on your accounts payable, or you have hired an accountant to work on your accounts receivable. So they are going to be having access, or they are going to be limited to that area of accounts payable in QuickBooks. So they can only stay in that area right here or right here, depending on what you have hired them to do. But when we went through the easy step interview, QuickBooks did ask us if we want to create user passwords. And as I said, I created that. That's why we were able to log into that and we'll be able to have access to that. So we as the administrators, or if you log in as an administrator, you are the one who can be able to add other users, and you can limit them on the things they are supposed to access. You can also be able to track anytime that person is changing a given transaction. And at the same time, you'll also be seeing when is this person logging in, or you'll be seeing the time when the person logged into that company file. And you'll also be able to see the transactions they used. And that is very, very important. And most of the times it is highly recommended that you actually set up those users in QuickBooks, because they are going to help you handle certain issues, and you'll be able to have to limit on the things they are supposed to do and on the things they are not supposed to do. So when you create a company file, QuickBooks will actually set up the first user. The first user is by default created by QuickBooks, and that is going to be you, the person who is creating the QuickBooks, the company file, and you are going to be the administrator or the admin. And if you remember, when we went through the easy step interview, it did ask us if we want to set up a password for the admin. At that point, I created the password. Most people don't actually do that at that point, but it's also fine if at all you didn't set up those passwords. Maybe you are not aware, but I'm going to show you where to go in QuickBooks and how you can go about and do that right now. So we can just head over to our company section here in the menu. We go to the menu, we check on our company. That's the company. When you've reached to that point, it gives you that list, everything that are within that list, and you are going to see set up users and password. There is that point that says set up users and password, that it's here. Have set up users and passwords. So when you click to, or when you point to that, it will display another list, a sub menu that will be having set up passwords, change your password, buy additional user license. This is where we go if at all we want to get more users. You can actually come here, down here, and you buy additional users. In other words, you are buying another license that will be having more users. So we can change our password, we can set up users if at all we didn't set it in the first place. Even when you want to change your password, you can actually go there and you change your password. So we are going now to click on set passwords, and now we are in that section where we are supposed to set password. But before we do that, maybe let me just mention a couple of things here where you can buy additional licenses. I've talked about that. I've said that you've got 5 users, they are automatically set, but you can buy additional ones if at all you need them. So hope you can be able to get that. So now here you can just put in the password. You create a password that you can actually remember. And the good thing here, you are seeing it is bringing the password, but that password is going to be you as the administrator. That is the first person. So it will be the administrator. If at all you never set it during the easy step interview, then you can be able to set that up. But since we already put that in place, then we don't need to. Maybe if at all we want to change the password, but we don't need to change that. I'm already logged in, so there is no way I can create an additional password. But you need to do that if at all you never did it, so that you can be able to add users. Because if you are not the administrator, then there is no way you are going to be able to add users to that. So that's where we go. I can cancel that because I don't need to actually do that. Where did we go? We went to company and we came to set users and passwords. Then we selected set users. That's where we went through to be able to have that. We've said we can edit or we can change the administrator password. And if you want to do that, we said you go to change passwords. And maybe to explain something for the newer versions, let me just click here. We'll go back a little bit. For the newer versions, there is a section where it shows you where you can go and add a password if you hadn't done that during the easy step interview. For it, they will bring for you the administrator, the username plus the password. They will give you those options where you are supposed to fill them. And they will also give you additional feature for editing. Maybe if at all you had created the password and you now need to change that. But as I said, for us, we don't need to do that. But as I told you, even in real life, if you are doing it and you are learning how to do it and you're supposed to apply it, make sure you go ahead and set passwords. And even the other thing is that on this option, you will also be seeing where you can click to add more users. If it is a newer version, they will show you those. It will be showing you either here or here where you can be able to add new users. So maybe if I open this, let me just go back. I reopen this. There's something also I need to explain because these versions are different, and you may be seeing if you click change your password, by default the username, QuickBooks creates the username as admin. Here you've seen the username is admin. By default, that's what, because in the easy step interview we saw, we only added the administrator passwords alone. We never put in the username. But it's not that the username is not there, but QuickBooks gives you a username that is by default, it is called admin, like the way you are seeing it up here. Unless you've changed that, you can change this to anything you like. So that's what I wanted to show you. Even there is what you do if you want to reset your password. So we put in, I can maybe try to put in, I can change that. I can also confirm here. Then I click OK. It doesn't match. It has to be matching. It's now okay. You can check those ones if at all you wanted to, but I just want to show you those ones. You can select any if at all you want to change. But me just now, I never wanted to change, so I'm just going to click cancel and it goes away. But I just want to show you how we insert that information. You make sure that the new password, the password you are changing is actually consistent with what you want to